Welcome to the Inspired Riding Podcast. I'm your host, Beth Lauren Parrish. As a certified riding instructor, remote coach, and rapid transformational therapy practitioner, a powerful form of hypnotherapy, I'm here to remind you to slow down, trust your intuition, and really deeply listen to your horse. And this will make for the best co-creative dances possible, whether you're on the ground or connecting on their backs. Thank you so much for being here, and here we go. Hey, Inspired Riders, welcome back to the Animal Wisdom series. I've got Jana Wagner here again with me, and I'm so excited. We're going to be talking to my cat, Tabitha. She's a gorgeous little black cat with the tiniest little white spot on her chest. You'll see the picture there in the episode, and she actually claimed us when we moved into this house. So we kind of joke that this is her house and we just pay the mortgage. She's a very sweet cat. So how are you doing today, Jana?
I'm doing really well. How about you?
I'm wonderful. Been looking forward to this.
Me too. Tabitha is in one of my marketing posts that I created out of a marketing class I took. So I needed a kitty. And not that I don't have cats, but I needed another kitty, and hers just really resonates off the picture. You know, she is just such a presence, and she's one of those individuals that really catches your eye and pulls your attention and pulls you in. So I'm excited. Oh, she said the white spot on her chest is a visual depiction of her heart. That way that you always know that she's right there, open-hearted and loving and waiting.
That's absolutely beautiful. Oh my goodness. And that's so her already. I know she mentioned for you to tune in with Kuan Yin energy. But yeah, I would love to hear what you'd like to say first when you're ready.
Okay. Did you want to introduce her player stats?
Oh yeah, that's probably a good idea. Let's start over.
She said player stats. Could you share? She said, I threw you guys off because I wanted to tell you about my white patch right away.
You were getting right into it. So Tabitha, like I said, she was kind of like eyeballing me out the window when we first moved in, and I kept going, oh, there's this cute cat watching us. At the time, I still had my older cat, Duke, and so we weren't exactly sure we would have another cat with him. I've never really had multiple animals that often. Like I always had like one dog for a while, and then it wasn't until recently that we have two dogs. And so having another cat seemed like a weird thing, but she decided she needed to come in. It was New Year's Eve, 2017 into 2018, and it was the coldest night ever. And so we just let her in, and she hung out in our bathroom all night. And ever since then, she just started going in and out of our house, and it seemed like no big deal with our older cat. So that was really neat. Then we came to find out about a month later, she was pregnant and she had kittens. And our older dog, Obi-Wan, who's a bearded collie, reminds me of Nana from Peter Pan. He was so excited. He was just like, I'm going to take care of these kittens. They're my kittens. And I don't remember how many she had now. I want to say it was like 4 or 5, but we ended up finding them all homes, and that was such a beautiful thing. And then shortly after, I broke my leg, so I wasn't able to focus on her and get her spayed. So we ended up having another set of kittens. And after that set, we finally did let her join the Hister Sisters with me. And so now the baby train is done, and we had beautiful kittens that actually stayed at our house until they passed on. But they were amazing, really quite comical. And it was really amazing the way she actually brought them into the house. She actually had them in a hollow tree. Like, this is legit fairy tale world here. She had the kittens in a hollow tree. Then she started one by one bringing them in and plopping them down on the dog bed and said, they need to have a better life with you.
Oh my gosh.
It was fascinating. So we had these kittens on a dog bed for weeks until they could start moving around on their own. It was amazing. So long story short, she's had 2 litters of kittens with us. Ever since then, she has taken on this gorgeous matriarchal role in our home. And when we got Cordelia and Rose, we felt like she was kind of fostering them and letting them be her kittens. And she does have a little window door that she can go in and out. And she sleeps every night in the house with us and snuggles with us. During the day, she goes out, comes in, asks for butt rubs and snacks. And yeah, she's just the coolest little cat. So independent and so fun.
I didn't know all those details. That's really cool. But it explains why all that mother energy and like Kuan Yin was coming in and, she was mentioning children, which she knows no one else has mentioned yet. So, which is true because the rest of the animals we've talked to have been childless. So it makes sense.
Yes.
Yeah,
And
she
I was
said,
always so curious about that because, a lot of times it's really not their choice. It just happens. So I wonder, like, did you enjoy being a mom? Things like that. So, yeah.
yeah, oh yeah. She said, don't worry, I had enough babies for everybody. She got it covered. Okay. With all of those things sort of up and out there, let me see where she wants to start. So let's be practical and honest first. One of the reasons she loves Kuan Yin is not just the mother maternal energy that is very much like you might imagine Mother Mary to be, just the quintessential loving, all-encompassing, loving mother soul. She said, let's be honest, I like jewels. When I see myself, I always see myself in all the traditional jewels and a crown of gold coins with jewels, purple jewels, and a necklace of jewels, and um, wrist bangles, the whole thing. She says, I also see myself with she said it would be reminiscent of belly dancer garb, but I'm not a belly dancer. Let's be serious.
It's adorable. Oh my gosh.
But she sees herself this way, and she sees adornments as a way of expressing your inner life. So when you have a vibrant inner life, it's worthwhile to adorn on the outside because it reflects each other, right? So her first thing she would like to invite people to is don't be afraid to accessorize. She says that's what you call it, accessorize. She calls them adornments. And if you think about the word adornment, it also means adored, does it not? And it's just an outward expression of the adoration that you hold for yourself or that you hold in your heart and that you hold for others. So she would like to invite everyone to sit into this space of adoration because there's a depth of love and kindness and excitement and warm welcome to it. Doesn't that feel vibrant? And when we move into this space and this feeling of adoration, it's not an ego selfish look at me, look at me. It's an encompassing external display of the love and vibrance you hold within for others. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. That's beautiful.
This is part of how we bring our inner game outward and share it with the world. So just like a simple smile and eye contact can brighten someone's day, wearing your inner aspects on your outside can also bring a lot of joy to others in the day. She said the reason Jana is wearing the shirt she's wearing today is because she felt the energy coming in before and also felt the need to feel vibrant.
And what's your shirt say?
Oh, my shirt says "In My Kind Era."
Oh, and it's like tie dye and orange and pink and yellow. That's fantastic. I love it.
It's what you would typically think of as fall colors, but red, orange, and yellow are so vibrant and alive and like fire and creation,
Yeah.
right? She said she said exactly that's me. She feels in her experience of knowing Kuan Yin or coming out of that line of family that this is her take on it. She would like to invite us all into this level of peace and love. She says, don't I sound like a 60s child? She said, I would like to invite you into this quality of peace and love and adoration to bring out this is how I know Kuan Yin to be. She is so much more than just peace and loving. She wants to teach about adoration. Oh, yeah. What is that called? She's reminding me about one of the things in religious practices about what is it? It's like adoration. The
Offerings?
I don't know. It's one of these more religious statements you hear in the church that always hit me a little bit the wrong way, but she's given me a new perspective on it. Um, I might have to circle back. Okay, so just to preface where she's going with this, we took a pause and I looked it up. It's called The Passion. So it is the reading, a dramatic reading that's often done Good Friday around Easter, around this time, that's leading up. It talks all about Jesus's final days and leading up to his death. Sorry, guys, we're going a little bit deaf here, but it'll be okay. Where she's bringing it in is she was offering this idea of the passion of Jesus's last days and about his trials and his suffering and about all the communications and interactions he had with his people leading up to this time. And if you were to look at the life of Kuan Yin and the suffering she went through, it led her into this place of compassion. And so, let me see, Tabitha wants to share about while she does not see herself as suffering or having had suffered, she came into this life understanding great suffering and came through the Kuan Yin line. So she wanted to invite the life of Jesus into this space too, because a lot of people understand that tract and maybe don't know as much about Kuan Yin. But she said, can you see that they had similar experiences and messages to bring to the rest of us? So when I agreed to come through the family line of Kuan Yin to continue this as a cat, as a mother, as a way to bring in love and peace, and I want to offer an invitation to shift the passion, which is from a Latin word of about suffering, change it to adoration, deep adoration, becoming a way of life and a way of cultivating compassion, peace, and joy, and bringing it out in your vibrance into the world. Because as you know, we cannot make people be something they do not desire to be. However, we can be who we wish to be. We can choose to be who we wish to be. And so sometimes in our suffering comes great adoration of self for overcoming, for stepping forward, for growing in love and being true to ourselves so that we can shine that out into the world and offer it to others. This is my message I came here to offer. And I want to express that it doesn't matter that I'm an older cat now and it took this long for me to get the opportunity to share it. That doesn't matter. What matters is that at some point you find it and you share it. There is no such thing as lost time. She's saying that there are a lot of business people that really say the only thing you can lose in this life is time, and time is a commodity and time has value, and it is true. Don't live your life by it, please. Be okay with how you choose to spend your days and spend your time. Honor that and be okay with it. She's pointing at me, Jana, because I let myself be restful yesterday and my mind is like, you were lazy.
Nope, just caring for yourself. Yes.
And when I heard that yesterday, I was like, you go away. I'm resting.
Good work. Good work.
But she's not wrong. It was still bothering me this morning.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So this is where she would like to segue into sharing about her black cat magic, because if you want to rid yourself of that lazy idea for the rest of your life, I will help you. She said, all you've got to do, oh my God, all you've got to do is tune in with me. I will place my magic paw, like her paw is like silver and shimmering. Like I see silver shimmering coming out between her little black toes. As she puts her paw right on my heart and pulled out the lazy thought forms and then just went flick.
Oh, I love it. Flick it away. Yes.
So anyone that needs help with it, you just tune in with me. I will be your facilitator. Okay, you do the questions now.
Well, this morning she was actually holding onto my hand and asking for pets on her head. And she's so incredibly delicate and she never scratches me. And so just seeing that image of the silver coming out of those paws just makes it even more loving. So I just want to thank her for being so kind with me as she's asking for the pets.
She said, of course, Beth, I know when you need a little mommy magic. She said, actually, we were both sharing mommy magic because Beth knows how to be a good mother.
So sweet. So I'd love to know if she felt she had a specific purpose with me.
Obviously.
Is it something she can share publicly or no?
Yes. Because she had the mother energy to come and share, she needed somebody who also had that could match her and reflect that in this space. She said that even those who think they are alone in their purpose, there is always another, always a companion, always, always another in some form that will show up at that time to participate and help both of you bring forward part of why you're here, part of your purpose. And she knew that you had the capacity to have the mother compassion energy that would balance hers so that she knew that you'd be able to help her bring it forward. And she said, this right now is a big piece of that.
That's such an honor. I love it. And it's so interesting because I know I've told people, but I've had a hysterectomy, so I've never had children. But I do feel like all of my animals are my babies. So I do have that sense of being their mom.
Well, and she's showing me that you've been a mother to all of us, that you've helped those of you, or excuse me, those of us that you have helped through some of our fears and our confusion. And you're probably one of the very few people I feel comfortable spilling my guts and crying in front of. And that takes a very certain kind of person. She said, don't you think as mother energy as safety in a safe space? So she said, please, Beth, I want to invite you into owning that part of yourself, because you and I are alike in that way.
That's a gorgeous perspective I hadn't considered. So I really appreciate that.
Yeah.
Is there something she'd like to convey that we perhaps don't know about her?
I already told you. She said, yes, I've already explained to myself thoroughly, and I
Okay.
understand the question, but no.
Okay. I just want to make sure. That's great. How did she feel about being a mother to those kittens? And did she have kittens before we met her? I was so curious. Or was that her first litter?
Those were her first.
Okay.
She's really not even sure where she came from. I wondered to her if she was living on the property before you. She said it's kind of blank. She doesn't really remember.
You think she was teleported in?
Likely, they say some of the metaphysical people say that, like, if you can't remember your childhood clearly, you're probably a star seed because you just sort of popped in. I don't know.
So interesting. Yeah.
But there's definitely a blank about her life before showing up on your property. It feels like she is of that property or of that land. Now, you better take her if you do move.
Oh, yes.
But
That was my next question because I want to make sure she'd be okay. Because she really is part of our family now, more than the land, I would think, right?
yeah, but somehow she came through the land. Probably teleport. She doesn't know. And I'm not being allowed to see into that. Sometimes I'm allowed to see into those spaces and really share about it, but it's one of those mysteries of life.
Yeah. And as in Judaism, we say it's beshert. It was meant to be.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
She said, yes, let's go with that.
Love it.
There was no abandonment, no drop off, no, I don't like this house, I'm moving out. She wouldn't even call herself a stray. One day she just was.
That's really cool.
And she said, oh my gosh, one day she just was. And then she gave me this visual of like teleporting down and bringing the other souls down with her, her kittens.
Oh, wow.
That is so cool. So it is
That's
like the in when, they got them to eat all the people so they could get all the people back to Earth safely off the ship, right?
the
It really is.
Flurkin from Marvel. Yes.
He was like a soul pod to bring a pod to bring a bunch of souls in. That's wild.
That's brilliant. I love it.
All right. You all, if you haven't seen The Marvels, go watch it. That is the best part of the movie.
Yes, please.
It's a pretty good movie anyway, but it's the best part. Okay, sorry.
That's okay. So then I was just curious how she felt about having kittens. Was she neutral? Did she love it? Did she not like it? I was just curious. So,
She loved her babies.
yeah.
She loved it. She loved it. She said that she was really only contracted to bring in the ones that she brought in, even the one that had an injury and it couldn't stay long. Even he was really important. because he was about honoring the life that he chose to experience and the compassion of helping him continue along on his journey in his passing. She said, see, I'm probably going to bring up death a few more times, but it's all okay.
Yeah, that was a hard one because I really bonded with him. Yeah. He lived to
And
about 2.5, I think.
she said, for you, Beth, that was an invitation and an opening into that mother energy. So you see, you do not have to birth your own to experience it. And that is what's important.
Yes, I feel that. And what was so interesting, Jana, is I would point at trees and he would climb them. Anytime I'd point at one, he would climb it. He's like, I'm on it. And after he passed, Tabitha started doing that for me.
Oh, that's so fun. What was his name again?
Bandit.
Bandit, yep.
We had Smokey and Bandit and Sally, like Sally
Oh,
Fields from that movie Smokey and the Bandit. Yeah.
love
And
it.
the other two went on walkabout. We never saw them again, but Bandit stayed with us until we think something hit his head and he was paralyzed. And I tried to keep him going. I'd say at least 4 or 5 months. It was hard. Yeah.
I remember that. Yeah. Yeah. She's quoting whoever said it's better to have loved and lost than never to have loved at all.
Oh,
She said she knows that often said that's still relevant here.
totally. He was a hoot. Yeah,
Whew.
it's interesting. He and Duke were both cats that I could just call to from far away and they would just come running. I'm here.
Yeah. Oh, how sweet. Oh, other questions?
Yeah. Okay, so please tell me all about what you're thinking when you're watching me with Pepper and Indy because you're like almost like Velcro kitty along the arena line watching us. And it kind of spooks Pepper sometimes because you acts like you're stalking us.
She said it's like your anxious mother watching your riding lesson. She wouldn't say she's anxious. She just really wants to keep an eye on you and keep an eye on that pony and make sure that he is listening. She said, I go out there sometimes and I lecture him, and sometimes I feel a little cross and I say, Pepper, stop it. Pepper, you have got to take responsibility and take care of her. And he says, but I do. And she goes, I saw what you did. He said, but I didn't hurt her. And she goes, I don't care. I saw what you did. So she asked me to tell Pepper that not to be startled or spooked by her, but to, if he could just, she's inviting him to feel his inner mother too.
Hmm.
She said he's such a boy sometimes. And she said, I hope I'm not hurting your feelings saying this. Um, she said, but he's such a boy sometimes, and he can't help being so playful. And she just thinks that he forgets sometimes. And so she hangs around as a constant reminder that he's got to take really good care of you. Okay, Pepper said, okay, I got the memo and I got the energy stream. He says, oh, I understand.
I'm so curious how our session will be later today now.
Yeah, me too. They just keep quoting Marvel, with great, what it has to go with
With
great,
great power comes great responsibility.
yes. And she says that little horse is very powerful.
But he's also very responsible with me, which I so appreciate. Yeah.
Yeah, she's just making sure.
I love it. It's kind of like I'm watching you with the eyes. That's awesome. That makes so much sense now. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah, so maybe just take a moment and sync up with everybody. Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell Pepper to use his spidey senses to connect with her. She'd actually also like to get up there and take a ride herself one time.
You think Pepper would like that?
I think if you asked him, he would participate.
Okay. We'll probably have Charlie there just in case.
Use the bareback pad so there's no claws in the back.
Oh, yeah, no doubt. Absolutely. That was without question. We wouldn't want to mess up the fancy Hidalgo saddle. Plug for Hidalgo. We love them. Yes.
Yes.
So, does she remember any of her past lives?
Okay. She said she thought she already shared, but maybe that wasn't clear with what she was talking about. She definitely was a very revered cat individual that is and has been part of the Kuan Yin family line. She says that there are a lot of us that act as what we call messengers. So we come in through that family line and act as messengers of the teachings of love, compassion, and adornment. That adornment is much more than show. It's, again, about wearing on the outside in a physical, tangible way that shows your inside.
I love that. Yeah.
She said, I don't do fairies.
Oh, really?
But she said, the fairies are part of it too, because they're very kind and loving and compassionate also. They are a little more insistent than the Kuan Yin line. Fairies are just a little more insistent, which she feels is part of why humans see them as mischievous, like they asked you not to see them. But she thinks that that is why humans misread them a lot, because they're very insistent. Yeah, whereas Mother Energy is a bit more patient.
Yeah, seeing the Kuan Yin line almost like this really low tone, almost like an ohm, real steady. And then the fairies are a bit pingy with their frequency. Right.
She said they're the agitators that spark and inspire action.
Nice.
So if you aren't in the mood to be sparked and inspired, you might find them really irritating.
Sure. Yeah. Which is what happens around me because I'm gonna ignite things, and some people will be like, yes, and others will run away. Yeah, my sister and I actually had that happen with our energy like years ago. We were in New York City at the pharmacy and we were just chatting away, and there was a guy behind us online, and he just like got stiffened up and just turned around and left. And I looked at my sister with my eyes big. I'm like, I couldn't have been more than like 16, 17. I go, what was that about? She goes, well, he just couldn't handle our energy. Literally couldn't be in our energy field and had to leave. And I was like, oh, so I guess that's how some people feel about fairies. So I can understand. We all have different energy going on at different days. So yeah.
I've had this experience too. There are some events I can no longer go and sit and watch because there's too much adrenaline for me.
Yeah, I can see that.
You guys do you? I gotta step out.
Oh, I have a question for her. Does she actively dream at night? And if so, does she remember her dreams?
Her dreams are their dreams in the sense that that is how they're explained on Earth. She actually goes to a certain place in her sleeping time in her dreams and meets up with her collective, her community. She's calling them the others. So she says they get together and debrief.
That's awesome. And the others, are they also on Earth and then they just connect there together? Or are
Correct.
they all over the place?
Correct.
Both.
Correct.
Got it.
I just showed me a whole lot of cats.
It's awesome.
And I was like, are these your kittens or these are the souls that you brought through with you? She's like, yes, and more.
Beautiful. I'm glad she still connects with them.
Yeah, it just,
Yeah.
well, you always, she said, always.
Yeah,
When you come in as part of a family, you always stay connected.
that's really cool. How does she feel about Cordelia and Rose?
They're like two of the gems that I wear on my adornments. One is green and one is yellow. I think you know which one is which.
That's brilliant.
Obviously, Rose is yellow.
Yep, exactly. Well, I think of Cordy with green, the heartstopper color, right?
She said if you watch her coat, you know how some coats, when the sun hits them, you can see, especially like the black hair, you can see the different, sort of like oil and water.
Mhm. Yes,
You can see the different colors or color inflections in the hair. She said if you look at Cordelia when the sun hits her, you'll see the green.
that's awesome. I'll look for that. She's so precious when she runs along the driveway. I wanted to ask about her, the way she pounces on them. She has
On
so
the
much
dog,
fun with them, I think.
they're family too. She said they're like kin. She does like that word kin.
We kind of joked and called those girls her kittens also.
She just enjoys them so much. She says that's what I think of them. I just enjoy them so much.
They enjoy her too. We call her Sister Cat. And she actually runs up to the car as soon as we get home. And she's like, let me account for everybody here. It's very sweet. Like, where have you been? I've missed you.
Got your back.
Does she have any questions for me?
Not questions, just she's very, very happy to have this platform now to share. She said the timing is exactly right because we've had all these years of life together to share and experience and learn, and now I get to verbally affirm our experiences. So not really questions. She knew she was coming in to work with you.
I love that she did. I never expected her, and I'm so grateful for her.
It was nothing.
Just to teleport away.
Yeah, yeah.
That's awesome.
She just said she was here the whole time waiting.
May we ask her some questions from our listeners?
Please.
So my friend Carrie said, "Is black cat energy a thing?" She has one. It's totally goofy, and she's just curious about talking more about black cat energy.
The way she would describe it is it's similar to how people say orange cats are kind of quirky. Calicos don't really like everybody. She said it would be similar. There is a lot of truth in nature or personality with coat color where cats are concerned. And then there is a spectrum. There's a spectrum in every color. So while you might see certain natures with certain coat patterns, that is true. Black cats also have a certain level of they have a certain level of clarity about who they are and who they are on the inside. They always express on the outside. So remember, I talked about my adornments. That's what I meant. So she said, I think Carrie's cat simply just feels very at home with expressing who he is on the inside. And every black cat will show you exactly who they are. Whereas some other colors, you think you understand who they are from what you're observing from the outside, but they are not showing you all of their inner life. So I would like to also further illustrate this by that poem called The Naming of Cats, that last part where they talk about what the cat calls themselves that they never will tell you. That is true mostly. A black cat will never withhold it from you. You will always know exactly who we are. Always.
Is that why when I asked you your name, you immediately told me it was Tabitha?
Yes.
That was really cool.
Now, just keep in mind this is not a rule. There are variances in everything. Although you might entertain the idea that the common threads are common traits are a staple. However, it is not always true for everyone. She said the only other name she would have gone by is Starburst.
That's fun. Tabitha Starburst Parish. I like it.
She see the white on her chest and she's like, it's like a starburst. Yeah. So she would say, this cat Carrie is asking about is exactly the epitome of the black cat, and he is showing you who he is. We're not afraid to show exactly who we are. We don't need to have secrets.
And clarity equals kindness.
Mm-hmm. And compassion.
Yes.
By the way, you don't need to change clarity equals compassion, because compassion is a little bit harder for the human mind to process through and recognize. Compassion is something you have to learn through your heart, through your being. Kindness is something the human mind understands and can process and put into practice more quickly. Compassion comes with the practice of kindness. Oh, I love that.
That's a beautiful distinction. Yeah. Thank you for that.
I feel like I'm gonna melt in my chair right now.
Oh.
Kindness shifted compassion, my body was like ooh, ooh.
Well, I think this next question goes along with what we're saying. Margaret wanted to know, what's your superpower and how do you use it?
Exactly.
Compassion. Yeah.
My superpower is bringing through the kindness that moves you into compassion, and a lot of times that comes through the mother energy. So she said, tell Margaret if she is also a mother, whether it is human child or animal child or uh, simply nieces and nephews, she will understand the mother energy and the love and compassion. Compassion is more like complete acceptance and patience for another, patience and understanding without frustration. Compassion is giving another the space to be exactly who they are. And that is something that is special about a mother energy.
Beautiful. So Sandra wanted to know, what is it that Tabitha can teach that no one else can?
The knowledge and understanding of the awareness of combining all of your facets of self and allowing those to come through in a way that can be easily understood. So while I feel very strongly in the mother energy, that is not the only aspect of who I am. I know how to play. I know how to hold the space for another. I know how to bring all the aspects of self through at any time in any situation. And it is what some people call mutable, but it's not. You're not muting yourself. You are shifting to match who you're with at any given time. And so I'm really good at matching and reflecting, but also I really enjoy it. So when you feel like you become someone else in different company or different settings, it is not necessarily that you are becoming those people or those settings or those experiences. It is that you are shifting to participate in an experience or shifting into another aspect of yourself so that you can continue to learn about and gather those different aspects of self, which teaches you to be very flexible and to move between places very easily. So while you might be one person at the stable, you might be one person at home, you might be one person with your family, you might be one person at your jobs, start to see that all those aspects are like a composite that make up you. It is not that you have to be different in each setting, it's that you are different, but you are still you. That is what I'm really good at.
That's beautiful. It's almost like the idea of embracing all the different energy fields that you're around and like swimming in the possibilities of them, but still being completely true to who you are.
Mm-hmm.
And who you are becomes these all these beautiful aspects that you get to experience, right?
Yes, because ego tries to tell you you can only be one thing at a time and you must become another to be safe. And I understand that a lot of humans teach, well, you become that because you're afraid and you're trying to stay safe. Okay, some of that is true. However, if we fixate and focus too much on the idea of staying safe, where do we live? You can stay safe without being afraid. You can stay safe by embracing those aspects of yourself that you notice that you know how to tap into and utilize in different communities. Communities offer safety, mothers offer safety. And so, what if instead of feeling into the fear of staying safe, what if you feel into the field of mother safety? Maybe you would be able to bring forward your inner self more fully and more comfortably and embrace your aspects. Oh, golly. Yeah, that's how I feel when I show up and I'm present.
Yeah, because you're so sure of who you are. You have that just
Mm,
underlying, heck yeah, this is me. Let's see what we can play with and experience together. Right?
yeah.
Yeah.
I saw an interview clip yesterday of the woman that played Araminta in the new Bridgerton. She was also Harry Potter. She was in Harry Potter.
Yeah, she played Cho, his first kiss. Yep.
I saw a little clip because she said what she likes better is that when she was a kid acting, she didn't know who she was. And now she knows who she is. And she enjoys acting more now because she's learned who she is.
And she did a gorgeous job on that show. So well done. Yeah.
Oh my God, it was amazing,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I kept watching her. I'm like, dang that woman. I don't like the stuff she's pulling, but dang, she's so powerful.
Yep.
And like, sure,
Oh yeah. Oh
nice, right?
yeah.
Anyway, I
Yes.
digress.
We could do a whole short show just talking about Bridgerton. Um, oh, so Sandra had another question. I was just dissecting it for a moment because she was trying to interpret it. because she speaks Dutch, right? Is that correct?
Yes, Dutch and
Yeah,
English.
in English. So I think what she's trying to say is, what is something that everyone just thinks or does without question, but Tabitha thinks about it in a different aspect because she knows better. Does that make sense?
Yes. He said, I'm going to describe it and it's a little next level. She thinks that everyone thinks that connecting is still about placing a shell around yourself. It's okay to shield, although she says she feels everyone shields. And again, this is about safety. And again, if everyone could bring themselves into a little bit newer space of discharging extra energy without forcefully containing, because it causes reactivity. She feels that everyone has a level of reactivity that needs to be better understood. She would like for people to pay attention and notice where they react and redirect to create a more flexible energy field.
Sounds like asking people to release their patterns that they're stuck in. Yeah.
Particularly around reactivity, because she says reaction is condition. So conditioning, conditional, reacting as a result of your environment or condition. Noticing when you're reacting versus responding. So it's okay to set up your energy field and say, this is what is allowed around me. This is what is not allowed around me. It's also okay to be flexible. Being flexible allows you to notice when things are coming in, and then you can redirect it without getting startled or overreacting. She would really like to see more reactivity become response. That's all.
Yeah, it feels like that's where you own your power, where you can respond over react. And that's where true compassion lies within yourself and for others, right? Like I literally was rushing this morning cleaning the hooves, and Indy wouldn't give me his back hoof. And it was so weird because he always does, but he could feel my rushing energy. And he's like, nope, not happening. And I got a little annoyed. And then I had to step back and go, oh, wait, that's a pattern I don't need to repeat. And I was like, it's okay. We can revisit this later. No big deal. And I still gave him the cookies and said, we're good. Yeah. So it's so good to like recognize it, give yourself grace because you're still human, and then say, hey, how can I change this pattern now?
Right.
Thank you so much, Jana and Tabitha. Those are wonderful answers. And I'm so grateful for both of you.
We could really talk to Tabitha for another hour. We might need to talk to her again, part 2.
Maybe we'll do a part 2 for all of them. What?
Oh, that would be amazing, because Kenny has grown tremendously since our first discussion.
You can just cycle it through for next quarter. How fun is that?
I'm in. Yeah.
Awesome. You heard it here first, people. So I know we have Arinda going up next. Does she have a little preview, or do we want to let it be a mystery?
She's so excited to share because she has had some really interesting experiences in her life that she's been waiting and waiting to share. And she said that's all she'll say for now. But she's really excited because she is definitely a cat that enjoys the spiritual studies.
Gorgeous. I love it.
She sits in on classes and meetings and things all the time. So yeah, she just feel this like delightful excitement. And I'll tell you more about her name then too, because it's got some really beautiful roots.
I can't wait. That's wonderful. Well, I just wanted to mention if anyone wanted to learn more about Kuan Yin, a really wonderful book that Jana actually told me about is called the Sophia Code. And if you check it out, it'll rock your world. So I really want to encourage people. It's so empowering. It's absolutely gorgeous. And it takes you to all different levels. I had some wild dreams connecting with all the different feminine energy masters, especially Kuan Yin and Mary Magdalene. So I just wanted to mention that if anyone's curious, I highly recommend it.
Really good book.
Yeah, I think I
Yeah,
need to reread it now.
I do too. Yeah.
All right, you guys. Well, thank you again so much for listening. We hope you enjoyed this as much as we did. And remember to lead with kindness for yourself and for your horse, and let it lead into ultimate compassion. Sending you so much love, and may the horse be with you always.